Good morning, everybody. It is the last day of August 2020. My emotions are still raw with the passing of Chadwick Boseman. I wanted to take the time to express this phenomenon and why so many of us who had never met Chadwick Boseman in person feel this tremendous amount of loss. And if there is a comparison that I can bring forward in terms of my personal experience, this reminds me of the loss of Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve, of course, portrayed Superman for 4 films and had a accident with a horse, was paralyzed, and then subsequently years later, even after having a career in acting and appearing on Smallville, passed away. Chadwick Boseman was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in the year 2016, the same year that he was making Black Panther and playing the titular role of King T'Challa, and really made an impact, not only with his performance in Black Panther, but his presence whenever I would see him in interviews or press junkets or on Saturday Night Live or on Jimmy Fallon. And the way he carried himself would remind me that there are some role models within my age range that I can look up to, and it feels very few and far between these days. It's very difficult to find role models to look up to that are older than me. But somebody that was 9 years older in a profession that I strive for or have a tremendous amount of respect for. He was able to accomplish so much within his career. And if you look at when he really broke through to a mainstream audience with his portrayal of Jackie Robinson in 42, and then James Brown, he was a massive talent. On top of the incredible, deep strength of going through the chemotherapy and the surgeries during this time when he was making these films and performing the way he did, which was amazing. He would capture the audience's attention every time. And the beauty about his presence is he didn't have to say anything. You could look at him and know that he would command a room. And when you're looking for an actor, for a human to portray that type of role, a leadership role, a king, you have to find somebody who can carry that presence in a room. This was a massive surprise to me and to all of my friends. We had texted back and forth after this news broke. And still remembering the wonderful time I had seeing Black Panther with my mother in theaters here in, I believe it was up here in Seattle. And the way that that film was able to portray the plight of those in poverty and the legacy of slavery here in America. And as somebody who lived in the ghettos of Los Angeles, in Compton, Watson, South Central, and would speak to and learn from all sorts of people from all different walks of life that were in these same neighborhoods, that were in these same positions, the storyline of Black Panther and the upfront tackling of this issue, especially at the end, has never left me. It continues to stay with me as just a really, really impactful story. And I know that impact was incredible for the Black community, but also for the legacy of Black superheroes, minority superheroes, and proving to Hollywood that you can have an all-star Black cast in a comic book film and it will change the world. It will shatter records. So between his individual performance as an artist, the way he carried himself as a man and as a leader, and what he was able to accomplish within his career is worth celebrating until the end of time. The tragedy and the gut-wrenching depth of grief and sorrow is that I think of a quote from Lord of the Rings, from King Theoden. When he's burying his son, he says, the young perish while the old linger. I invite you, if you haven't seen any of the works of Chadwick Boseman, to carve out some time this week and watch a film or two of his. Jump on YouTube and see his performance on Saturday Night Live. I watched it again yesterday when he was on Black Jeopardy as King T'Challa. And I heard somebody say recently on a podcast that the whole Karen identification and movement online, the meme of Karen, the name kind of got started or assimilated or associated to Karens from that sketch when they're talking about Karen bringing I think it's a potato salad. Is it egg salad or potato salad? I think potato salad, but she doesn't use paprika. She's using raisins, but not a lot of raisins. It's great. So diving into that and enjoying his body of work has been in some ways therapeutic. But the final thought I wanted to add is why? Why does this hurt? Why is this hurting? Because art is able to communicate to so many people in so many different ways at once. That's the beauty of film, and it is really, really hard to make a good film. It is almost impossible to make a great film, which is why we celebrate great films and have lists of top 10s or top 100s. It is, God, it's still odd that there is now this vacuum for somebody to wear the suit of Black Panther in the future. And even though those are going through some people's thoughts of what is going to happen with this role, which we thought when Christopher Reeve passed away, or when Christopher Reeve had the accident, and then after he passed away, how can anybody fill this role of Superman? And again, that is the reflection of the legacy of Chadwick Boseman. I welcome you again to reflect on his work as I have this weekend. Okay, well, I also want to remind men that getting a colonoscopy and taking care of your health is vital and important. I had a colonoscopy 2 years ago. You get one every 5 years. It's best to start now. And I'm so eternally grateful that Chadwick Boseman, during this time of having cancer and struggling with it, he was able to give us lasting art that's going to stand the test of time. Okay, I am working on the studio still. I'm going to be back on camera after Labor Day and hopefully start having some good time streaming and pushing on ahead through the fall. But honestly, folks, part of me, most of me feels that things are going to get worse before they get better. So take this time to reprieve, gather yourself, remember the ones that mean something to you, carry their legacy and all the good that they brought to this world with you as both an example, as a memory. And that is how I will continue to honor the man, the artist, the king, Chadwick Boseman. I'll see you online.